WWE have a big decision, more TNA departures, my review of AEW Dynamite, and more. I'm Luke Owen and this is the WrestleTalk News.
Support WrestleTalk!
Get exclusive bonus videos over at patreon.com/WrestleTalk.
We're not just 1 week away from Christmas, we're just a few weeks away from the Christmas time for wrestling fans as we begin the road to WrestleMania. Not only that, but we're 2 weeks away from Raw debuting on Netflix, a show that WWE are looking to make as big as possible. Already announced is Roman Reigns vs Solo Sikoa and Seth Rollins vs CM Punk, which is now confirmed to be the main event of the show by WWE themselves at yesterday's Netflix event. Also announced at that event, Logan Paul will be joining the Raw brand, which makes sense given he has some form of mainstream appeal, which is what Netflix are after. Also at that event, Kevin Owens took a perhaps nice, maybe not so nice, light-hearted jab at CM Punk, saying that he has the best moveset. That word has surprisingly become quite a charged one as of late, and Owens has been very vocal in interviews about how he and Punk do not have a relationship or a friendship. He does, however, have a good relationship and friendship with the Young Bucks. And while WWE are stacking Raw on Netflix, they've also got the small matter of WrestleMania 41. And WrestleVotes noted on Twitter a few weeks ago that WWE are going to want to justify this being the most expensive WrestleMania to attend ever by quite some margin by putting on an all-timer show, which is what brings them to their potential problem. You see, WWE are so hot right now. And one of the reasons they're so hot is they have a lot of top name stars. And that presents the problem, who main events Night 1 and Night 2? WrestleVotes are reporting via their Backstage Pass Q&A show that they've heard almost all year that WWE wants CM Punk in a main event world title match. However, they add, I don't know how the puzzle pieces are going to fit, but they want him at the top. That does add up. After all, Punk himself has said that one of the reasons he came back to WWE was to main event WrestleMania, something he never got to do in his first run. It's even a story beat in his current feud with Seth Rollins. He's also consistently one of WWE's top merch sellers. He probably should be the main event of WrestleMania. And from what I've been told, Punk really wants to do the money match with Roman Reigns at Mania, but Reigns could be earmarked for something else. And WrestleVotes are saying they don't think the world title match for Punk will be against Cody Rhodes. Rumors are the plan for Cody Rhodes is to face The Rock for the WWE Championship, but that all is dependent on whether or not The Rock actually wants to do WrestleMania. The Rock has also been reported as an option for Reigns, and if it's not Rocky, then Reigns could face Jacob Fatu. So that leaves us with the World Heavyweight Championship. However, WrestleVotes add, I don't think it'll be Gunther. So it could be the case that Punk is in a WrestleMania main event for the World Heavyweight Championship, but it will not be against Gunther, meaning the champ will have to drop the belt on the road to WrestleMania. Sean Ross Sapp speculated on Fightful that he thinks Gunther could face Goldberg at either Mania or one of the Saudi shows. But in all of this, you also have the problem of giving your women's division some time to shine, which you probably should do given how over Rhea Ripley is. And you have the reported imminent returns of Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. So what would you do? What would you book for WrestleMania? Would you have Punk going for a world title? Would you have him going into the show as a champion? Let me know in the comments down below. I mean, at least WWE have some names on their roster, which is more than you can say for TNA at the moment. In just this last week, it's been reported that Speedball Mike Bailey, Rhino, Trent Seven, Kushida, and AJ Francis have either left or are all set to be leaving TNA as we approach 2025. And Fightful Select are now reporting that Steph DeLander is also set to leave TNA. However, they add, we're told that there is some interest in TNA in bringing her back when she's returned from her injury. They also report that Aiden Prince is also finishing up with TNA, but only as an in-ring performer, as he'll stick around in a backstage role. A lot of this comes off the back of TNA doing the most TNA thing they could have possibly done in bringing back Tessa Blanchard, which Fightful Select say they've heard from those in WWE, AEW, and TNA who were in disbelief that the company was moving in that direction. Josh Alexander is also rumored to be leaving TNA in the new year, as is Jordan Grace. And Fightful added, we're told that Jordan Grace had pushed back on working with Blanchard. Before we get into the AEW Dynamite review, here is a clip from the most recent episode of Cutscene, where I took a look at the lost song from Muppets Christmas Carol to get you all in the festive spirit. We've also just released a 4-hour video of myself and Ollie Davis reviewing Madam Web over at patreon.com/cutscene. Here is that clip.
During this time, Henson had begun to speak with Michael Eisner about selling the Jim Henson Company to Disney, as the pair had a relationship dating back to the late 1970s when Eisner gave the Muppet Show the green light at ABC. Eisner had joined Disney in 1984 with the idea that he, along with Frank Wells and Jeffrey Katzenberg, would fix the House of Mouse. Eisner was in the process of reigniting Walt Disney Animation when in the spring of 1989, Henson contacted him about selling his company. Henson's logic was that by selling his company, he could focus on creating and being an artist, and Disney would worry about the business side of things. The deal, reportedly worth $150 million, would see a 15-year exclusivity agreement where Henson would make movies, TV shows, and theme park attractions for Disney, and would give Disney the rights to his creations like Fraggle Rock and the Muppets. While Henson began doing work for Disney, which included the TV special The Muppets at Disney World, as well as developing Muppet Vision 3D for MGM Studios, negotiations were not as easy as they'd initially anticipated, essentially boiling down to Eisner wanting Sesame Street to be part of the overall Henson deal, which wasn't really possible.
But it's Thursday, you know what that means. Will Ospreay had another Match of the Year contender. The show opened with Jay White and Orange Cassidy cutting a promo about their main event trios match against the D-Riders, and Hangman Page walked in and told both of them that he wants Mox, so they'd better leave him for the hanger. The action kicked off with Mercedes Moné defending her TBS championship against Anna Jay, hot off having one of the best matches of 2024 at New Japan over the weekend. And Moné had her working boots on again here as she had a terrific match with Anna Jay, which saw the young Anna have a great comeback and series of near falls. That transition from the statement maker into a pin was great, and Moné hit the sunset bomb into the corner, a Meteora and Moneymaker for the win. Chris Statlander watched on from backstage and she saw a great match. Moné has been hit and miss in AEW since coming in earlier this year, but she is finishing off the year with some real bangers. FTR cut a promo from home saying that they could not be cleared to return to AEW until the new year, but they will be back to get the D-Riders, and they will not be alone. My guess would be the Outrunners, which presents a very intriguing dynamic of the Outrunners versus Jon Moxley. MJF cut a promo about opening up a charity to help small yellow babies this holiday season, putting up a doctored photo of Adam Cole on the screen, yuck yuck, lol, etc. Cole cut a return promo saying that he has spoken with Tony Khan, who has allowed the Kingdom to be at ringside, which means they're totally going to turn on him at World's End, and he appeared in the ring, hit a super kick on MJF, and Max bailed from being hit by the Canadian Destroyer. A basic segment, but rather befitting of this feud, which has been rather flat since it started. We got a recap of Julia Hart's awesome return, and Jamie Hayter cut a promo on her to set up their match on January 1st, and we got a video promo about the return of Kenny, by God, Omega. Kenny, I know you're not watching this video, but if someone is watching this video who can pass on this message, I've missed you so much. Christian Cage and Nick Wayne beat Hook and Katsuyori Shibata due to lots of interference and distractions by the rest of the patriarchy. Looks like they need some backup, which could signal the return of Samoa Joe. Joe, I know you're not watching this video, but if someone is watching who can pass on this message, I've missed you so much. Sorry for banging the table. Chris Jericho got a video promo about New York, I guess, and Harley Cameron sang a song which genuinely made me want to buy AEW merch. Is there anything she can't do? Have you seen her do ventriloquism? Mariah May cut a promo on Thunder Rosa, and then we got more talking as Ricochet came out for a promo with Tony Schiavone, but was quickly interrupted by the Hurt Syndicate. Ricochet, who's already sort of turned heel, then started to suck up to MVP and the lads, but MVP does not like a kiss ass, so they tore up the business card offer. I guess Ricochet will not love business. This is actually the most I've been into Ricochet since he came into AEW. I guess it's the laugh? It led into Shelton Benjamin being awesome with Beast Mortars, who is also awesome. Benjamin picked up another 3 points in the Blue League, but the Hurt Syndicate attacked Mortis after the match, which, let's be honest, is not in the true spirit of the C2 tournament. Daniel Garcia came out and was backed by Mark Briscoe, but they were outnumbered and the Hurt Syndicate hurt them. Shelton Benjamin then posed with the TNT Championship, which feels like a great World's End match for Garcia. Renee interviewed Ricochet backstage, who then had a back and forth with Swerve Strickland, and Toni Storm continued this brilliant character by doing an interview with RJ City, where she does not remember any of her AEW run. But let's be honest, the thing that everyone will be talking about coming out of this episode of Dynamite is Will Ospreay taking on Darby Allin in Gold League action. Will has had an incredible 2024. Our end-of-year awards start next week, and spoilers, he features in them a lot. And he's not slowing down just because the year is coming to a close. This is a first-time match between Darby and Will, so they went out there and did everything they could while leaving so much more for future matches. Alan is a mad lad, missing a coffin drop and hitting the ring apron as horribly as he possibly could. They then had an insane sequence of Will reversing the Code Red into a hidden blade, then Alan reversed the Stormbreaker into a Code Red for a great near fall and double down. Will then hit a flipping Styles Clash off the apron to the floor. Not actually flipping, I just don't want to say the F word. Happy to take the count out win, but Darby got back in at 9, reversed the Stormbreaker into the Scorpion Death Drop, and hit 2 coffin drops for the surprise 3 points. An incredible match, but one that also means there are 4 guys tied on 6 points in the Gold League, and all 4 of them are facing each other this Saturday. It kind of meant that the main event was a little bit lacking, but certainly made up for it in star power as the D-Riders took on Jay White, Orange Cassidy, and Hangman Page. It got really great in the final stretch as Hangman Page walked out on the match angry at White for stealing his chance to get his hands on Mox, but came back down when the chance presented itself once more. But that was stolen again by Orange Cassidy. It led to White and Mox getting into an argument which distracted everyone and allowed Mox to roll up Cassidy for the win. This is what Jon Moxley wanted. The enemy of my enemy is still my enemy. AEW Dynamite has been a broadly fine show for the majority of 2024, but this was easily one of its strongest episodes. Now please consider going to check out the latest episode of Cutscene, where I look into the lost song from Muppet Christmas Carol. This is also my last WrestleTalk news video for 2024, so happy holidays everyone, thank you so much for watching, jam that jam, have a great time.